I want to start by welcoming the passing of this important bill, Ceann Comhairle. I want to commend the Social Democrats for bringing forward this legislation 2 years ago, I think it was. I also want to acknowledge, as Deputy Shortall fairly has, the role played by our own Senator Catherine Ardagh in pursuing this and pushing it through the Seanad along with other senators. And also I want to commend the Government and indeed Minister Stanton for the work that he has done in respect of this matter, and I know that he has facilitated its smooth passage through certainly this House, and I'm sure the other House of the Oireachtas as well. People talk about new politics and how it has its limitations. Unquestionably, it does have its limitations. I won't go into them now. But it also has its advantages and its strengths. One of the strengths is that members who are elected to Dáil Éireann, where there is no government majority, are required to engage with members from different political parties, from government and from opposition, in order to try to ensure that legislation which is of public benefit can be enacted. That's what happened here. There was no desire on the part of the government to block legislation that was coming from a source other than the government. There was no desire, I have to say, on the part of Fianna Fáil to be proprietorial or to claim that this was a Social Democrats policy and therefore we shouldn't support it. And I think the same applies to all other parties here. I think what was recognised was that this was a piece of legislation that was very important and would have significant consequences for parents in Ireland. And I think when it is enacted and when its effects are felt, it will have a considerable benefit for parents. Obviously, I know the Minister and indeed the Government and indeed all parties in the House were concerned about the impact it may have upon employers if there was to be an immediate alteration, significant alteration of the provisions. I think it's important that employers are brought along with this. We don't want to find a situation where employers don't recognise that this can be of benefit to them as well. As Deputy Shortall stated, work is an essential part of people's lives, but there comes a time when it can become too dominant in people's lives. There is no more precious or privileged I suppose, opportunity that a person can have then to bring a child into the world. It's important that we avail of that time, that we enjoy that time, and that time is given to parents to spend time with their child in its early years. Anyone who has a child will know that their childhood years pass very quickly. They're precious times, and we should ensure that parents, not just mothers, but both parents, can spend time with that child in what is an incredibly important formative time for the child. So I just want to commend everyone in the House for the work that they have done on it. I think it illustrates that we can work on new politics, and it has its benefits when we work together in respect of it. And I hope there's a recognition in years to come that work isn't everything. There are more precious things in life, and certainly spending time with your children is one of the more precious and privileged things that we can all do. And on that note, I know Deputy McGrath, who I know have more children than many of us, will be able to speak in full detail about how he'll be able to enjoy it. Yeah, a lot of leave. Thanks.